Okay, quick Wednesday morning radar update. So, big move up, drift back into a little bit of back and fill is very normal. 50% is a high probability sort of measure of normal, is the best way of putting it. DAX is a little bit weak, it's shown a little bit of weakness against the others. So, transports is still up there looking strong. So we'll leave it at that. Let's just have a look at a couple. In my portfolio, I already own this one. So I'm trading, I'm talking about my own sort of position here. Trading my own book. Talking my own book, sorry. Very normal area, right side of a base. So ECK posted earnings, profit, turnover breakout. Yes, we know why it posted those. Now it's showing deceleration, but the numbers are still solid. 40% year on year earnings. Profit pre-tax 57%. So that's what it's trading towards. So it's in that sort of post earnings breakout drift, and we call that basing. It's basing out, but it's just pokes its head above this, and it's from the right side of a base. It's turning up. It has the look. It doesn't mean it will play out. You're long, you're wrong. I'm already riding it. I plan to trail into these lows, this low here or this low here, and add to the position there. I've already added to this position. I've got an entry and an add on it already. So, not for me today because I'm already in it. But my plan, if it moves above here, it shouldn't move back below here. Moving on. What else? I added to JLP today. I took a new position, pilot position in one as well, in another one, as we talked about that last night, didn't we? So yeah, this is that new highs on the move. So fantastic. I've added some, trailing a pretty loose stop on this one. Commodity related are usually a little bit more wilder than normal growth stocks. Virtually always, but had a nice pullback here, back to highs. That's pretty good. Let's just flip these. So added. Moving on from that, let's just jump straight into, I suppose we can just, metals, nickels doing okay. They're all in a pretty nice place, these metals. Obviously gold is, we've talked about the bearish case on gold already. In my view, it needs to hold this low, but even if it loses this low, it's probably going to come into this sort of area, and that would be still pretty normal. But it's just not in play. The stocks are not responding because they all set up together, they all move together. Moving on from that, TLT, let's just zoom this out. If you've got share scope, the way to draw these trend lines is just control left mouse button and just drag them out. If you come into sort of technicals, less is really more. Do not be trying to do this and make, sorry, I've done that wrong. Let me just, trying to draw lines and saying it's going to go down below this diagonal line here, it's going to go up below this other, above this other one. Work with the primary trend first. This it all looks good when people are sort of posting these, the ones what work out on Twitter. But at the end of the day, you've got to make money. So, little focused in little areas against big primary trend sort of moves. Very normal area this. A little bit of off-piste. Very normal area in the history of, how these things trade. So let's not sort of sugarcoat this. Very normal action. We expected it to come back in. Can it base out again? Usually, if it's going higher, it'll base out and then it'll go again. Moving on from that, pound, dollar. you know, dipping in a bit today. It's through a sort of pretty good trend move already, but measured move for a swing. But the trend is up, you know. Pennies and steamrollers springs to mind, though these things are very choppy trading markets. It doesn't matter where it goes for me. I'm a trade. Always trade with the trend. It's what's the point in fighting trends? Most popular thing you will ever see on social media is everyone fighting trends. You know, they could have just in a product like this, you could have just bought it in this zone here, and you could be riding it all the way up here. Stocks, anything, all the same. In my view, let the trend change first, and then put your position with the trend. It's just easier. No need to be heroes in this game. You know, you pick your own battles, pick the easy ones. Moving on. Let's just go straight into the volume leaders. It's 11:30. We should have traded 40%. 40. I'll put 41 in. I'll just 32. A little bit lighter than we've seen. Obviously, we've seen REITs. General mix. I'll just buzz through these super fast. See what's in them, and then we'll get into the small caps. REITs. This one's still trading towards some awful numbers in my view. I'll leave it at that. Marlow through highs. Well, I've got a position in that, so fantastic. Fantastic. I didn't see that this morning. Maybe it's just popped. New portfolio highs again today. Just the grind is just relentless at the moment. And into the small caps. 41% should have been traded. I've got to catch up with chat as soon as I finish this, because I've been literally updating the dates on my sort of stops. You get 3 months, and I have to update them every 3 months. So it's been a bit of a process today. Lots of small caps. 82 on the list here on volume today. Looking at a glance, metal stocks, obviously Jubilee's in there. Software, support services, financials. Pretty healthy looking list actually. Let's buzz through here, see what we can see. I'm only going to hold up for the ones that look as though they're returning to growth, or TWD's return to growth. Lose slightly more on the forward numbers though. Turnover ticking up. Moving on. ARB. Yeah, fantastic. High five to those who are riding this one. I'll show you an extremely simple way of being in line with the trend on this one, because that was our line in the sand there. And it offered, you know, a breakout, a base cheat, a breakout, a first pullback. And you could have even called this a base as well. I know some of you are riding it from different areas, but just fantastic. Huge, take the log scale off to see the huge multiples available on that, even from that second one. Sadly, I didn't take it. We see them all, we post them all, we don't take them all. That would be impossible. If I had a crystal ball, I'd only take those ones though. You know, the ones what really make the multiples. This is still grinding off this sort of IPO move. It's got no fundamentals, no numbers, should I say, whatsoever. So it's a pure technical play, and on the chart and on the story. Nothing else is available yet from share scope, I will say, from the share scope providers. SVE continues. Total project juice is blasting higher today. Looks like a better than statement, probably. Shoe zone moving on, no forward on that either. ORPH lose less, some pretty good Q on Q growth, half on half. A little bit review for me, you know, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, we've had plenty of times to get on board that one. You've got to have cash when they come through, and it's always a juggling act. Do I hang on to a little bit of cash, or do I take this ad point, or take this one what's in front of me today while the market is good today? So it's always a little bit of a juggling act. You can't be in everything unless you trade extremely small and hold a tracker. JAN continues. JLP continues. Fantastic. OMI continues. TRX. So lose less, or I've just got a 0 on the forward on that one. Yeah, deep retrace on that. It hit our screens on this day here for execution on this day here, and you know, off it went. It's up 70%. Here's a little bit on bases. You know, when you get, this is an IPO breakout. If it has to make this much of a move to break out, you know, it's a big in percent terms. When the base is wider in the right, we call it reverse volatility base. And if it has to make a big move to break out, well, a pullback entry is probable. Some just melt straight up, so there's nothing wrong with getting involved with a sensible stop, but expecting a pullback, I don't, you know, even though I expect any of my stocks to pull back if I bought a breakout, when I see a reverse vol base, sometimes I'll just leave it alone, because it's had to, you know, it's run a marathon to break out. The pullback entry is probably going to come, whether it's going to come into this area from a higher area. You know, it's just one of those things. Rather be buying it back into a pullback. But yeah, not for me, I don't own it, but just going through the reverse volatility base. No flashy names. WATR, high five to that one as well. So that is today's radar update and volume leaders. Hopefully everyone's having a good week. Fantastic week for the growth stocks. Swing trades are bumbling up and down a little bit this week. They were fantastic last week. You know, right hand edge.